Flex tape is the strong, rubberized, waterproof tape that supposedly instantly stops leaks. Today I'm going to see if I can find out if this really works or if it's just more as seen on TV hype in this review of Flex tape. I would call this a first look review because I'm going to do a couple of initial tests and then I'm going to try to see what else I can test it on and a follow-up down the road. In this first test, I'm going to try to basically just recreate some of the claims in the advertising. I did see another review out there on Flex tape and it passed with flying colors, but there was one thing about that review that kind of bothered me, and that's that the reviewers were following instructions given to them by the makers of Flex tape. Of course, if you follow instructions given to you by someone else, you probably have the best chance of making it work. I didn't really want to follow instructions. I just wanted to create some leaks and see if I could patch them up. So I think giving it a little bit of a real-world test is probably a little more accurate. So for my first test, I rigged up this little PVC pipe in between the middle garden hose and the Hercules hose, which are lending themselves to help me out with this test. So I'm going to create some sort of a hole in the center here, put on the water, and then tape it up while the water is running. So let's try that. I'm going to put the water on and see what happens. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's nice. That's a nice leak. I got my piece cut off. I'm going to unpeel the back, wrap it on there when the water's on. Maybe I put it on too fast while the water was running. I'm going to turn the water off, put a new one on, and then put the water on and see if that works better, because watch this. See, I've got it coming out of the sides here. That's not good. It's definitely sticky. I'm not going to say this is Flex tape's fault because I may have done it improperly. I'll have to cut this off. It took me over 5 minutes to get the tape off of there, so it's a really sticky tape. It didn't hold the water in, but I'm not sure that I didn't do something wrong, so I'm going to try it again without the water running and then reattach the water and then see how it goes. So let's try that. Supposed to work all the bubbles out, which I'm doing now. That seems like a little bit better connection. So let me hook this up to the water and see what happens. Take two, which I'm more confident it should work this time. Oh! Alright, that was not the Flex tape's fault, that was my fault. I think my PVC contraption didn't hold the pressure, so I opened the pressure up on the nozzle end, and I'm going to try it one more time. Take 2.5. Alright, alright. Oh, God. Alright, I'm literally holding the other end so it doesn't come off again. I do have a slight stream coming out of the Flex tape side of it. I don't see any bubbles. It's a pretty small stream, but it is a stream. Actually, two small streams coming out of there. Well, let's move on to the next test. Alright, next up I'm going to take this bucket and I'm going to drill a 1-inch hole in it. Alright, I've got my hole drilled. It's 1 inch in diameter. I've got this tapered cork that I'm going to use to plug it up. I'm going to fill up the bucket with water, yank out the cork, and then slap on the Flex tape. Okay, this should be fun. The cork's doing a pretty good job considering I just pulled it off an old beer bottle. Alright, that's almost full. Now for the big test. In the commercial, they just slap it on. Wow, was that sticky. Alright, I'm going to pull it with this hand and slap it on and see what happens. Here we go. Whoa! See a little bit of drippage. Supposed to work out all the bubbles. Let's see if I can make this work. The key is getting all the bubbles out. It was leaking out of the top. I got that to stop. Got just a little bead coming out of the bottom here. That's all I've got left. I really think I can make it stop if I can get any existing micro bubbles out of there. For me, that's about, I would say, about 99% leak sealed. I got a little bit there and a little bit there. And I really tried to get the bubbles out as best I could, but there just seems like there's something around here that I can't get out. I mean, I don't see anything, but it's leaking from there to there. And I got a little bit up top too. It's still pretty impressive, even though it may not be 100% in this test. If you need an emergency seal, this might buy you some time before you can get something better going on. But we got more tests to do. Even though I got a couple of drops coming out of the top and the bottom, I'm still kind of impressed by that. I didn't think there was any way it was going to stop a 1-inch flow of water, and it did, except for a couple of drops coming out of the top and bottom. And I guess if I kept working with trying to even the bubbles out, it might still go away, but I think it's pretty good. Another claim they make is you can seal a leak underwater. So I tried that with a container that I cut a hole in, and here's what happened. Okay, next up I've got this container, and I made a nice gash in the side of it, right there. I'm going to fill it with water, and I'm going to try to seal it from the inside the way they say you're supposed to do in the commercial. Remember, they say you can seal from the inside underwater, and that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to let that water cover that gash, and then I'm going to put this tape in there. It's very extremely sticky tape. Oh no, there's a leak in the side of my container. What will I do? We have a leakage. Good thing we have flex tape to the rescue. Do we have any leak at all? Let me see. Getting like one drop every few seconds. I don't see any or feel any bubbled areas where that could be coming from. Just like the other one, it seems like just a tiny amount is getting through. I think you're also supposed to put one on the outside as well. I think I may have got it. Looks like it stopped. Okay, there's one drop. Let me try a second one on the outside. Check back on that a little bit, but that looks like it is sealed. I don't see anything coming out of there. And let me check over here at the bucket. Bucket, I still got a little bit coming out of. Before I started my review of flex tape, I actually had to use it for a real world situation. We're working on restoring an old hot tub, and the pressure switch was missing, and we needed to fill up to see if it would hold water. So I grabbed some flex tape and put it over the pressure switch was supposed to go, filled the tub, and it didn't leak. Here, I'll show you. It might be kind of hard to see, but right there is where the pressure switch was supposed to go. And that's a small piece of flex tape that covers the opening. We did fill the hot tub, and this did not leak. Okay, it's been 4 hours since those tests. I want to come out here and see how the leaks are doing. The bucket, we still got a little bit of leakage. And I have tried, I mean, there are bubbles there, but I have tried to do what I can to get them out, and they're just not coming out. But it's a very minor leakage. Considering the size of the hole is 1 inch around right there. It's almost completely stopped. On this one, I have no leaks at all. It's completely sealed. Keeping in mind that the inside one I put on there while it was leaking. So no leaks at all. Very minor leakage. This one I never got to completely seal either. Again, I think there's just some bubbles forming that I just can't quite get out. It might be because of the edges on there. So in the end, I think that flex tape is extraordinarily strong. It's the strongest tape I've ever seen. It may not completely seal all leaks in all situations. You might get a jagged edge or a cut that's not clean, and you might, which also might create bubbles that will send the water out to the edges. But in my test, even though I got a little bit of leakage after the seals were set, I still think that it did a pretty impressive job given the scenario that it was in. If you have realistic expectations, I think you'll actually be pretty happy with flex tape. If you think that it's going to live up to all the claims in the advertising every time, you might be disappointed. Have you used flex tape? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And please subscribe for more as seen on TV product reviews from me, James White, Freakin' Reviews.